Emotional abuse does not leave external wounds that the world can see, but the wounds that are left from emotional abuse are much deeper and linger. Hey guys, welcome to Guilt Free Mind. I am Dr. Shruti Bhattacharya, and today's topic of discussion is how you can escape emotional abuse and heal yourself. Emotional abuse, or as it is otherwise known as psychological abuse, leaves the mark on the mental, emotional, and physical state of a person. Most often, people think that emotional abuse is not seen, it's all in the mind, and it can easily be forgotten. However, that cannot be far from truth. People who suffer from emotional abuse carry those scars for the rest of their lives. But you don't have to keep dwelling in your past, and you don't have to let it affect your future. That is what this video is going to be all about. How you can make your present and future better. I'm not saying that you will be able to forget what has happened to you in the past. It is practically impossible, but you can still make your future better for yourself and for people who are close to you. The main problem with emotional abuse is that people feel that they cannot recover, they feel helpless. Yes, the scars will be there, but that does not mean that you cannot be better. You can always try to make your future a little better. Unfortunately, another part of emotional abuse is that people most often justify their abuser's actions. They say, my partner, relative, friend, or whosoever the emotional abuser was, has always been this way. Maybe something happened in the abuser's life previously which made them this way, but does not mean that they would behave in that manner with you. What have you done to expect such an outcome or outburst from others? If you were not wrong, you should not pay the price. Most often, the most common behaviors that you will observe from an emotional abuser are they will attempt to control you. They will call you like 10 times a day and ask you where you are. They will isolate you from your friends. They'll say, this friend is not good for you, that friend is like this friend doesn't want good things for you, that friend only wants to take advantage of you. They will isolate you from everyone you care about. And then they will show themselves to be the only one who truly cares for you. This is possibly the worst part of emotional abuse, when your abuser makes you feel like, you feel guilty about leaving the abuser because you feel that, oh my god, this person has done so much for me. How can I just leave him or her? Now, one thing that you must understand is that emotional abuser can be anyone. It can be your parent, your friend, your spouse, your partner, anyone. Nothing gives them the right to behave with you this way, but this is the type of world we live in. We cannot really do anything about it. If you piss off an emotional abuser, they will become ice cold towards you. They will make you cry, they will make you beg for forgiveness even when you do not understand what was your mistake in the first place. Sometimes emotional abusers tend to make fun of the victim and then say that it was a joke. But the scars have already made their way into the heart. Now there's no point saying that it was a joke. You have belittled the other person, and now the other person is feeling bad. No amount of saying, I'm sorry if you felt bad, is not going to fix it. What has happened has happened. In this video, I will be discussing how you can recover from emotional abuse. The scars don't go, but it is possible to heal. The first thing that you can try out is journaling. Documenting your feeling will help you understand and even analyze what went wrong in the first place. You don't have to document what exactly happened word for word. All you need to document is what happened in that particular situation. Having those words written down will help you analyze them later. You later can go back, look at them again, and then identify if you did have a mistake in the first place. You did conduct a mistake. Most often, it is seen that when you go back and revisit your journal later, you would notice that it was no fault of yours. The reason I'm asking you to journal is because most people do not understand whose fault it is and they'll end up blaming themselves. The first step to recovering is to stop blaming yourself. It is easier said than done, so you need a logical way out, and this is your way out. Journal. If anything wrong happens with you, you can also journal, otherwise, there is no problem with that. But always remember to write down anything that happens that was hurt, that where you were hurt, or where you felt bad, or if you felt that someone ridiculed you, and then later revisit the scene. Revisiting will help you understand if you really were at fault or not, and if you were deserving of the words you had to hear. This is one way. The next one, as I mentioned before, is to stop blaming yourself. In most cases, emotional abusers would make the victim feel that everything that's happening with them is their fault. They'll tell you that if you are stuck in a difficult predicament, that it was your fault why you are in it. You are the one who landed yourself in that problem. However, you should stop feeling that way. Obviously, they are doing it to control you. Their sole purpose is to gain control of your mental status, to make you think that you're going mad. So, you need to stop thinking that way. You need to tell yourself that you are not going to give up control. You're not going to let anyone control you. It is your life, it is your wishes, it's your mental health. It's all in your hands, it's not in anybody else's. And this is what you need to tell yourself repeatedly, over and over again, multiple times a day. Tell yourself that it is not your fault and you should not feel guilty for whatever happened in your past. There may have been situations where you've agreed with your abuser. It's okay. You did what you did to survive. Now you can revisit and you can logically analyze the situation and tell yourself you did it to survive, but you don't have to do it again. Next thing you must do is to establish boundaries. If the abuser is your parent or spouse and you have a child together, it's not really an option to not talk to that person ever again. So if you do not have a way out, like a complete way out where you do not have to talk to the person ever again, the next best option would be to establish boundaries. You must let the abuser know what they can and cannot do. What they cannot do would be, they cannot insult you, they cannot call you names, they cannot yell at you anymore, they are not allowed to be sarcastic towards you, they are not allowed to be rude towards you or ridicule you in any manner. They are also not allowed to show false concern. They are not allowed to behave in a manner that hurts you. If they misbehave, you should feel free to leave the house or the room and get away. I'm not saying that your abuser will instantly stop behaving, the way they were and come back to a right track. It will not happen. But over time and with repeated, you'll have to tell them again and again that this is not the way you are allowed to behave anymore. I know what you have done with me and I will not allow it to go any further. You have to take your life into your own hands, basically. The next thing you can do is to not engage at all. If your emotional abuser, if your spouse or your parent is trying to get under your skin, trying to emotionally blackmail you, the best thing sometimes you can do is to not respond. Do not give them the satisfaction of getting under your skin, to making you angry. Just stop responding. Choosing not to engage will establish you as the person who is more powerful and has more control. There are chances in this case are that your abuser will actually lose control. and they might sprout things which they otherwise would not have. It would just give you more proof as to what was happening in this relationship all along. But if you can, do not respond. Loud voices only become louder. The next thing you can do, actually, the next thing that you must do, is to question your normal. If you have been in an emotionally abusive relationship for a long time, you may feel that shaming, calling you selfish, name calling you, ridiculing you, being sarcastic towards you is a normal behavior that happens in every household. No, it's not true. This does not happen in every household. This behavior is not normal. Guilt tripping, blackmailing, shaming you, calling you selfish is not normal. This is a part of a toxic environment, and it is emotional abuse. It is abuse of your mental health. It is abuse of your character, and you do not deserve that. The next thing that you must start exercising is you need to learn to say no. A lot of times we are brought up in families where you are pretty much taught to say yes to everything. If your parents are saying something, you have to say yes because your parents can never be wrong. Your parents are looking out for you and they only want the good things of you. That is true in most cases. In some cases, it's not. In some cases, these always saying yes factors are abused. So you need to learn to say no as well. The next thing is that you need to focus on is that not everybody is the same. It will be hard to trust. Yes. Emotional abuse makes it very hard to trust anyone. But you need to learn that not everyone is the same. I will not say trust immediately, but give them a chance to prove themselves to you, and then you can trust them. But it shouldn't be that you take years to start trusting another person. It is difficult, but it is not impossible. You do not have to always wait for the other shoe to drop. You do not have to expect everyone to betray you at one point or the other. It's not necessary that same thing will keep happening again and again. Maybe it won't. Maybe you will have better friends who do not betray your trust. But for that, you will have to take risk. Life is full of risks. You cannot really go or do anything if you do not take a risk. Even getting up in the morning and going to work is a risk. So take this risk too. The next thing you need to start working on is a to-do list which contains you. By this, I mean that you need to focus on self-care. I'm not saying you have to go to a spa and, get your makeup done. No, I'm not talking about that. But what I'm talking about is you need to care for your financial, physical, and emotional needs. Your financial, physical, and emotional needs, not anybody else. Do what you like. If you're a cycling enthusiast, go for cycling. Make it a point and a part of your everyday routine to go cycling. If you like painting, paint every day. If you like hiking, make sure that you have your weekends free to hike. No one should be able to hold you back unless it is, of course, work related or sometimes emergencies may occur. But most of the time you should be able to do what you want, and what you want should be a part of your daily life. Doing small yet simple things will not only, it'll boost your mental health and it'll give you a confidence in yourself. You'd start to feel whole again. It will take time, but it will help. One thing that you need to understand when recovering from emotional abuse is that it's not possible to fix the abuser. Yeah, you may feel bad for them. You may want to fix their problems. You may think that if you fixed their problems, they would behave better and your life would become better. But that's not actually true. They have got wired in that way. And now if the person does not realize himself or herself that what they are doing is wrong, no matter how many times you tell them, it's not going to make any sense to them. They probably even will say sorry to you, just have the conversation die out. They'll say sorry if you felt bad, I'm so sorry for it, okay, fine. But they'll never feel it in their hearts, and until they feel it in themselves, they're not going to obviously work on it. So if you try to explain to your abuser that what you've done is wrong, you are basically wasting your own time, and you should spend that time focusing on yourself instead of the person who cannot be healed. Next is to get help. This is possibly the most important part of recovery. You need to understand there is a limit to how much you can do for yourself. I'm not saying that it is not possible to come out of an emotional abuse all on your own. You can do that. You are strong. You can definitely do that. But sometimes a few guidelines, a few, road markers are required. Sometimes we get lost. It's possible. We get lost when we are trying to heal ourselves, come out of something so traumatic which we don't even want to remember. Sometimes remembrance is important, and you may not want to do that. Your brain may have blocked certain conversations which were too painful for you. This is where you should ask for help. Now, you already recognized that you have suffered from emotional abuse and you're trying to heal yourself. That is the first step in recovery. But the second step is to get a roadmap of recovery. This roadmap you can get if you choose to visit a counselor or a mental health professional. They'll talk with you about your problems. They'll probably provide you with a roadmap of the steps you should take to heal, and how you should not think, and how you should think, and what you should do, and what to do when you are feeling low or negative or about yourself, how to gain back that confidence. So these things are something that your parents or relatives or whosoever is providing you with support may not be able to provide, since they do not have a professional background in the same. So for these, you may need some help, and it is not wrong to ask for help. All of us have some form of problem or the other. We all have millions of skeletons in our closet, not one, not two. We all need help for something or the other, and it is not wrong to ask for help. You asking for help shows that you are a very strong person from the inside, that you accepted that I am dealing with a problem and I need help. And it is a big step forward, a big step in your recovery. So go get that help, focus on yourself. Do not bother with the person who abused you all these years. Do not bother to fix them, because they cannot be fixed. If they wanted to, they probably would be the one, watching this right now. So just let them go. If possible, cut off all ties with them. Make your life fruitful, full of passion. Do what you like. Surround yourself with people you love and who respect you for who you are, not for who you can be. And your life is going to be so much better. I hope this was insightful. If you liked this, please subscribe to the channel so that you can gain access to more such videos. I also have a blog whose link I will have in the description section. If you want to read up on Guilt-Free Mind, you can always subscribe to the blog, and please subscribe to the channel as well. And I will see you in my next video. Take care.